All right, we should be live. Hello, everybody. Hello there, Jerome and Sednar, Kodiak Moonwolf, Lars, BD, RD Batho, I1, Vaxer, that fella Lloyd Hannison, Night Razor, Anthony P. Cray, Owen, George, and William. Thank you guys for hanging out. Lloyd is running just a touch late. He'll be right along, but I figured I would start right at 10 so that people would know that we're here. And how's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a great day. I know that I am. It's Sunday. That means we get to talk about video games. And then after Lloyd and I finish talking about video games, we get to play D&D. So that's always exciting. All right, we'll do a shuffle on this. There we go. Got some music on, quiet in the background. What has everybody been playing this week? I am very curious to hear. Do me a favor, click the like button, by the way, and then there's a share button that you can see down below as well. If you click on that, you can like tweet it out, or you can retweet the tweet that Lloyd and I tweeted out before. Tell everybody that this is the place you want to come to talk about video games. Gustavo, my favorite show of the week. Well, thank you very much, man. What's my character in D&D? I'm the DM. So I DM. Lloyd is playing a ranger. Kodiak Moonwolf is playing a druid. And Bravd is playing... he's got a weird character. Like a cleric-ish. Like a tanky cleric, I believe. And then Richard is playing, I forget what the heck the name of his character is. He's a dwarf. He's a drunken, angry dwarf. But I can't remember. Not an alchemist. It's something else. It's not in like the main book. It's in something. I can't remember. There's Lloyd. What's going on, man?
I was muted. That was what was going on.
Artificer, that's right. Thank you, Kodiak Moonwolf. They were asking what our D&D characters were.
Ah, yes. I'm a hunter, elven hunter, which is probably going to multi-class rogue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You like that stealthy stuff, huh?
It's my jam. It's my jam.
Dirty, sneaky thief.
That's right. Oh, wear it proud.
That's right. Oh, hey, nice shirt, dude.
Yeah, I got my Stadia shirt out.
I figured you were tweeting a bunch about hockey, so I figured I would get out my favorite hockey team shirt and wear that. The Dog River Dogs.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, it's second round of playoffs start on Wednesday. So it's going to be another crazy stressful time.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Bomberman got the crossplay. I didn't even add that to the show notes. Was that in last week's show? Or did that happen after last week?
I think it just happened this week. Probably didn't talk about it.
Okay. Well, I don't have a link, but I put it in the show notes. All right. Thank you for reminding us, whoever that was. I didn't have the window up, so I can't remember.
There we go.
All right. Do you wanna talk about video games?
I guess so. I mean, do people really want to hear us talk about video games? Is that what they're here for?
Listen, if you guys want to hear us talk about video games, do me a favor and click on the like button down below. And then if you already clicked it, don't click it again because that unlikes it. But you could just say, video games in chat, and then we'll know that you want to hear us talk about video games.
That is smart.
Manda is playing Destiny 2 on Stadia nonstop. I played a little bit. I feel like they increased the difficulty of that game. I was really struggling to stay alive. I was doing the crossplay beta. Well, you know what? Let's talk about video games, and I'm gonna hit record, and then we can talk about it. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
Consino Video Games. I'm here for the beards.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Stadiacast. I'm Bill. That's Lloyd. What's going on, Lloyd?
Not much, man. It is another Sunday, another Stadia day. Can't wait to talk about gaming goodness with you, Bill.
That's right. And before we do, head on over to nerdnest.tv. That's our YouTube channel. Click subscribe. Turn on all the notifications and stuff. That way you get notified when we go live, because we are recording this show live right now, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Click the button. If you are here with us live and you want to support the show, you can use the super chat feature. That makes sure that we see your message, and then we respond to all of the super chats at the end of the show. There's a bunch of other YouTube buttons. I'm sure that you guys can figure out what they do. Let's get started. Lloyd, what have you been playing, man? I know you did your birthday stream. Happy birthday. You're an old man now.
I am.
All right.
Officially old. I wasn't old before, but I'm old now. Yeah, it was good. Had a bunch of people out. We hung out for almost 4 hours, or I guess over 4 hours, almost 5 hours. Played a bunch of games. Started off with Gods Will Fall. And man, I want to love this game so much more than I do. Like I still enjoy the game, but the not knowing the difficulty of the bosses before you go into the lair is just tough for me, because you go in with your best character and then you just get slaughtered, and it's like, okay, well, this character had all of my stuff. I gave them all of the equipment going into this level. I am now screwed. I have screwed myself. I need to restart this thing over and over and over again. So it's one of those games where I hope that it comes out with some sort of difficulty balance patch to just make things a little bit just a little bit more predictable, we'll say. But I still enjoy the heck out of that game. I know you've been playing it as well, Bill.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know that I've gotten to a boss yet. I was playing recently and I ended up, look, I don't rage quit games, but like there will be a time where I'm playing the game and I'm like, okay, nope, I'm done, and I put it away. I don't like scream or anything or throw a controller, but I came as close to rage quitting as I ever have. I was in this dungeon. I was doing incredibly well. Like I was sprinting through and just laying waste to everything in front of me. There were these weird goat-looking guys. Sometimes they would like throw fire at me and stuff, and I'd figured out how to take those guys out. And then there was like this little platform that was swinging back and forth, and I jumped onto the platform and jumped over to the next side, and turns out that was a dead end. So then I turned around to go back, and I tried jumping. I felt like I had it lined up perfectly, but I didn't, and I just jumped into the abyss. And that has happened so many times where I've just fallen off an edge. And that is so frustrating to me. This doesn't seem like the kind of game that needs to have like that falling off the edge stuff. They should just have invisible walls so you can't fall off the edge, because the game it's hard enough as it is. Yeah. And dying to that is so infuriating.
Yeah, I agree. When I did my first look, you're in the pre-dungeon area, the first cave you go through, and I just walked off a platform and died. And it's like, oh, all right, it's going to be one of those games. And that happened multiple times, actually, when I was streaming, where I would do something stupid and just completely murder myself. And it's like, oh my God, this game's hard enough without stupid falling into whole stupidness that I did to myself. So yeah, I fully understand where you're coming from with that, Bill.
Yeah, and then I've also been playing. I loaded up a little more Judgment, which is just a really great game. I'm excited for more of that, and I played a little bit more. I forget about Destiny. I played a little bit more of Destiny, but then I also, damn it, I can't remember the other game that I had just played. Valkyria Chronicles 4. I started playing that again, and immediately on starting it back up, Like the stories pulled me right in. The you know the overall, like, there's some characters that are just incredibly poorly, I wouldn't say poorly written, but clearly written. Oh, I don't know how I want to say this. I find them very irritating.
Sure.
They have no charm to them, but you still like them for some reason. Like, I like the character, but every time he opens his mouth, I'm just like, man, what is your problem? Why are you like that? But I really, really love that game. It's so good, and I don't know why I stopped playing. Probably because something distracted me. But I'm back in with more Valkyria Chronicles. I'm probably about 20 hours into the game so far. Really fun. Love that game. Anything else you've been playing other than Gods Will Fall, or as I like to call it, Bill Will Die?
Bill Will Die. Yeah. Besides that, I've been dipping into a bunch of different games for short periods of time. I booted up Far Cry 5 prior to my birthday stream and was playing with it a fair bit. I love that game so much, and I've completed it, I think, on 2 platforms, 100% it on one, and then played a lot of it on another platform, and then now I'm playing it on Stadia again. And it's fun to go through, get the different special powers, like the ability to call in someone with a helicopter to do this thing, and just fly around and just cause mayhem. So Far Cry 5 is great. I cannot wait for Far Cry 6. I'm so excited about that game. So getting into a little bit more Far Cry 5 between now and then is for sure a likely thing that's going to happen.
All right, well, obviously you made the perfect segue. I guess we need to talk about Far Cry 6. We got a new trailer that came out this week featuring well, I always want to call him Gustavo Fring, but I don't know his real name. Somebody told me the other day I was streaming that dodgeball game, Knockout City, and we were talking about the Far Cry 6 news. And somebody told me his name, but I can't remember. But he's awesome. I love him as an actor.
Like the real actor?
Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito?
Yeah,
Is that his
yeah,
name?
that's it. Yeah,
Giancarlo Esposito. I think that's right. I remember him because his last name's Phil Esposito is a hockey player. So that's the only way that I could remember him back in the day when he was selling chicken. I don't have my my Pollos Locos bib, or I have an apron, Los Pollos Locos apron that I got from Loot Crate. I used to have it on my wall over there. I was gonna grab it, but I must have taken it down for some reason.
Well, the game got a new trailer and a release date of October 7th, 2021. You must be pretty hyped for this.
I am. I haven't, to be 100% clear and fair and open and honest, I haven't watched any of the trailers. I saw that they were coming and I was going to watch them. I'm like, no, I can't. I got to wait.
Well, don't look at the stream right now because it's on there. Okay.
I don't know what I'm waiting for, to be quite honest with you, because the game comes out in October. It's not like I can go into complete like zero news mode all the way to but yeah, man, this game looks so good in some of the stills that I've seen after that trailer came out.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in this. I've never played a Far Cry game, none of them ever at all, and this one is the one that I'm going to jump in on. Now, you've played all of them, right? So do I need, is there backstory that I need to care about?
Not really. What they've done in the last couple generations is they had a main release and then a spin-off release. You kind of have to know what happened in that main release. So Far Cry 4 to Primal, Far Cry 5 to Horizon. Is that what it is? I can't remember what they called that one. I can't remember what that one's called. But anyway, that's about the only thing that you really need to know. The game is, you kind of take on someone new every single time, so there's not a lot of continuity between the games, at least not that I've seen.
So kind of like Final Fantasy, where it doesn't matter if you've played the. All right, that's great. So that means I can jump in on final.
Every fantasy is final until the next one.
So I'm definitely gonna be playing this one this fall. I already closed it, but I think it was October 7th.
Yep.
Very, very cool looking game. Anything else that you want to say about that game before we move on?
I just love the fact that right on the press release, the game's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Series S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, Google Stadia, and Amazon Luna. So they're including cloud in their platform list, not keeping it as something separate, which I love to see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a mouthful to say all that stuff, but it's like there was somebody. Oh, it was Square Enix. Square Enix announced Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, and they announced Dragon Quest 12, and they said coming to console, and they didn't specify which consoles. I'm assuming it's Square Enix. They're probably going to be bringing it to Stadia. They're probably going to be bringing it to Switch and all platforms. The only ones that they tend to lock down to PlayStation are the Final Fantasy games, which is bad. Square.
It is. It is.
But
money talks. I know that Square hasn't announced they're coming to Stadia at all, but the most exciting thing about that announcement was the fact that Dragon Quest X, which is an online only MMO, they're coming out with an offline version of it. So I guess all the content's going to be bundled in, and you'll be playing an MMO as a solo person, I guess. So kind of weird. I would love to see that come to Stadia because I'd love to play Dragon Quest X because I've heard so much about it, but I don't believe it was ever officially announced in North America. So the likelihood of that being completely translated and localized and all that for North America is probably very unlikely. But that was pretty exciting. I'd love to see that happen with the Final Fantasy MMOs as well. Bundle all that stuff up to single player, make the difficulty so you can defeat all the bosses with a single player, just one person, and then republish all that stuff onto a hard drive or a disc or something. That would be fantastic because there's so much game lore that is now lost. You can't play every Final Fantasy right now because there's some that you can't play, and it's the same with Dragon Quest with 10 not being online right now.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14 actually, I think, I don't know, 2 expansions ago put in this thing where you can. So when you're playing that game, you are like the hero of light or whatever, and you have all of these supporting cast members that take you through the story of the game, and they have this way that you can bring them into dungeons with you so that you don't have to like find other people to play with. I haven't tried it because I'm max level like 3 expansions ago, and I haven't really jumped back into it since then because I know that there's so much more to do. But that almost is kind of like an offline mode. I mean, you still have to be online and there's still other people playing in the world, but when you go into the dungeon, you don't have to be with other actual people. I don't know how well it works. Kodiak Moonwolf in chat is saying that it's called the Trust System, and it came in the last expansion, not 2 expansions ago. Anyway, back to Stadia stuff. We're going out of order. All right. So we hit Far Cry 6 release date. Let's talk about real quick, right before we started the show, somebody in chat said, I was asking what people were playing, and somebody said, well, I've been playing a bunch of Bomberman again, because Bomberman now is released on other platforms and it's fully cross-play. Are you going to jump back into that game?
I am definitely. There's a reason to jump in if you haven't played it in a while. There is a Fall Guys skin that you can get. You can get the Fall Guys bean bomber guy based on the Fall Guys game. So that's going to be available for everybody, and it is really cool to see that this game is now available on pretty much all the different platforms with crossplay. So you can jump in and play with your friends, even if they're playing on Xbox or Nintendo or PlayStation or whatever. Maybe not PlayStation. I'm not sure about PlayStation on this one, but we'll talk about that more as we get later into the show.
Yeah. Oh man, PlayStation. Yeah. Bomberman.
Are you going to jump in, Bill?
Back into Bomberman?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to stream it the other day, and then I decided, you know what? Every time that I have streamed that game, I get these people in my game that are so flipping good. They're just so good at the game, and it just ruins it for me. I really want this game to have like a I don't know if there's a ranked mode or something, like I said earlier, I've been playing Knockout City. Knockout City has a ranked mode. The great thing about ranked modes is that in a ranked mode, you're against people who suck just as bad as you. When I'm terrible, I don't want to go up against people who are amazing. And now that I'm thinking about it, I do think that we talked about this last week. But I am going to jump back in. I probably won't stream it because streaming it brings out the people who are incredibly good. Like they're out there looking for streams in order to show off how great they are at the game.
Right.
And I'm going to jump back in. And how much more time do we have to get the weird the Bean Man?
I think it was to like mid-June or something. I'm trying to log in on my tablet and it's not cooperating with me. I wanted to see if there's some sort of announcement there, but that's not it's not being my friend right now. So we'll see if that pops up a little bit. But yeah, I was really surprised to see that tie-in because it seems like a really weird one. Fall Guys inside of a different game instead of other characters inside of Fall Guys, which was the thing for a while. You had like the Doom Eternal tie-in and a bunch of other tie-ins, and then now it's the other way, and it's like, oh, that's weird. I mean, it is a free game, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to jump in and test it out because of that. But who knows if the Fallout's character that's in there might be enough to get some of those people over playing it, since it is a free title. So maybe that was a really good one to add after all.
Yeah, I do think that there is some kind of crossover. If you really love Game X and the character from Game X appears in Game Y, especially if there's no upfront purchase price, a lot of people will just say, "Wow, okay, I'll try that out." And then there's a knock-on effect of people who are playing, we'll say Bomberman, and they're like, "Oh, here's a weird beanbag looking thing with no skeleton. What game is that from? Oh, from Fall Guys. Let's try that game out and see what it's like." I think that, I bet you no money changed hands there. They were probably just like, "Hey, put our character in your game and it'll help both of us." And I think that makes a ton of sense because people love crossover characters. My favorite crossover character is Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is like the indie game crossover character that ends up in everything. And it makes a lot of sense to do this kind of thing in Bomberman because it already has a bunch of characters from other Konami games. So it seems almost like they're trying to do the Bomberman Smash Brothers kind of thing, which I'm all for. Although I'm not a fan of the different abilities, mostly because I don't feel like they're too imbalanced, but some of them do feel a little overpowered, and so I just prefer it to be just skins. Sure. I don't know if the beanbag guy, does he have abilities or is it just a skin?
I'm looking in. So I claimed him. It doesn't say when he is available until. So I would think maybe till the end of the season he's going to be there. I'm not seeing any sort of skills list for this character as well. I'm going to try to go back. I should have done this prior. Of course, I didn't think about it until now. So that is what it is.
Kel F in chat is saying that he can dive.
Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, so besides the other characters, there's Old Snake from Metal Gear that costs 500 coins that you get by clearing stuff on the Battle Pass. Because they've added a full Battle Pass system into it as well. I believe there's a free Battle Pass and a paid Battle Pass. So they're really getting into the whole free-to-play Battle Royale kind of mechanics with this one, which I think is a really good thing for this game. I think it requires more people playing it on all the different platforms. You got to keep those matches rolling. And if you keep coming up with content and keep giving people reasons to play this game, I could see this lasting for quite some time.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to a game that a lot of people have been asking about every week, every single week. We turn on the show and people are like, "When's Ark coming out? When's Ark coming out?" And we finally have a little bit of information, not like a ton of information, but they tweeted this out this week. They said, "Summer plans checklist: being pounced on by a raptor in high resolution, defeating Rockwell, When you say Rockwell, all I can think of is Michael Jackson's cousin that sings that song. Reaching Ascension and then playing Ark on Google Stadia in Stadia Pro. We're going to help you fill out that checklist this summer. So it seems like they're saying it's coming this summer. I was under the impression that it was already, like, that it was supposed to come out last month, and so now it's been delayed, but maybe I'm just remembering things wrong. I'm not sure. Mostly because I'm not really interested in this game. It's not something that is for me, and that's totally okay. Games don't always have to be for me. I'm not one of those guys that says, well, they should have put some other thing on the thing that I want, not the games that other people want. Like, I don't care. I got plenty to play. Are you an Ark guy?
I'm not. I've tried playing it a couple times on different platforms. I'm not a huge fan of that type of game. The kind of survival games where you can die just by running out of food and stuff like that. Those games are very hit and miss for me, mostly miss. But I do want to check out Ark because I did try playing it on I think the original Xbox One, and it was trash. Like it was like 3 frames a second, and it didn't look good. I believe that was the platform I played it on. So it'll be interesting to see how it runs on Stadia in the cloud with hopefully faster CPU and GPU, making that game run a little bit better than what I experienced on the past generation consoles.
From what I understand, and maybe I'm completely off base here, but I've heard people say in the past that this is a game that is very poorly optimized on every platform that it's on. Am I correct in that?
Correct. Like, didn't it have a Nintendo Switch port that was running at like 480p at 12 frames a second? So it couldn't even get 30 frames a second at 480p or something.
480p. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, it was really bad. So I'm really excited to see what they can do for the Stadia port. I hope it's a very well done port.
Well, like they said, in high resolution, but they did not say anything about the frame rate. And look, if I know one thing about gamers is that they prefer higher frame rate over higher resolution when you're dealing with an action game or something like that. So, Oh, I thought you were reaching for a prop or something.
No, I was looking for something. I remembered that I was wanting to grab something from here, and I was trying to find it. And then I was like, no, I got to talk to Bill, so I can't do that right now.
Jem in chat says it's very, very poorly optimized. It's even on Android and also crashes in a few minutes on GFN when I tried it 2 years ago. There you go. Yeah. All right. Well, whatever. Look, I don't care about this game, but I know that there are a lot of people who are very, very excited for Ark. So there's your Ark news sometime this summer. And go ahead.
The same news we had before. We knew it was coming sometime in summer, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to be here on the first day of summer." But I guess it's summer, so it could still be months and months and months away.
It could be September 20th.
It could be, and that is the pro game prediction every single month for a lot of people. So some people will be sad to see it coming, so that they can't predict that it's coming anymore because it's already here.
That's right. All right, let's move on. It's funny. It's like somebody said, Nintendo needs to announce the Switch Pro so we can stop talking about it.
Right.
Somebody said that this week. All right, moving on to Addams Family Mansion Mayhem. Are you this is from Stadia Source. They found it listed on the Brazilian games rating board for Stadia. This is like it looks like to be like a multiplayer top-down, almost like platforming dungeon crawler in some kind of ways, and I think it looks very, very interesting. I don't know that I would have paid any attention to it at all if it didn't have like the name of the Addams Family on it. I love the art style for this. It's ridiculous and awesome, and the idea of this 4-player platforming adventure game looks really cool. Are you interested in this at all?
I'll wait and see. I like the new look of the Addams Family. I think this is based on, is it like a Netflix series or something? Like there was that cartoon that came out. It's some service. I can't remember which one. It doesn't really matter. I like the look of it a lot. And yeah, it's I don't know, the game, like you said, it's kind of top downy. there's puzzles, there's exploration in the game. So I think it reminds me a little bit of like the Lara Croft games, like the
Guardian of Light,
Guardian of Light, and the Temple of Osiris, or whatever the other one is, where you're doing competitive cooperative play with your friends as you're playing through the game. I think this is going to be a really good kid friendly version of those types of games, and the fact that you can play 4 players or single player means that it should be playable for everybody. I was looking on various other websites, because this has been announced for pretty much every other platform, and it's like a $40 title in a lot of areas. So I think this could be a fun one for a lot of families that have Stadia players. Buy a couple copies of this and stream with your family would be a really good way for people to play, or have it running on a TV and play with 4 controllers and do it that way. So yeah, excited about this one. I don't know if I'm going to be playing it myself, but I'm really excited for it to come to Stadia.
This seems like the kind of game that could be really, really fun, but it also, like, anytime you have like these games that are tied to previously existing property, a lot of times those games fail to realize what the potential that they could have had, usually because it's just a money grab. I mean, growing up in the 90s, and I know it's a long time ago, but growing up in the 90s, we all remember those games that were like the movie tie-in games. And just looking at this, I feel like there's a lot of potential there, but at the same time, I worry that it's just a movie tie-in. Bravd in chat was saying that this is the original comic strip art style, and they did a movie in that style in theaters right before we hit the pandemic.
That's what it was. It wasn't a series; it was a movie, and it looked fantastic. I got to watch that one.
So I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, but I'm guessing this is something that, like, I don't know when this originally came out, because I didn't know it was related to the movie. I'm guessing that this is a movie tie-in, which means that there's time restrictions that went along with this game, and maybe those time restrictions got loosened because of the pandemic. But I don't know. I'm not optimistic just because of, past presence. P. Cray in chat is saying the Burger King games on the 360.
Sneak King. I was so disappointed when that didn't run in backwards compatibility on my Xbox Series X. I was so disappointed.
I think you tried that on
live on stream.
On the stream, yeah.
I played the Addams Family games on the Super Nintendo. I owned one of the 2 that released for it, and I love Addams Family so much. So I'm excited about this one. I'll check it out for sure. I've seen a lot of these more kid-focused games, which are not challenging if you're not a little kid. So I wonder if this is one of those. Time will tell when the game actually releases. And again, congrats to Original Penguin for finding this one out and putting it out, putting an article out about it. This could be a good one for a lot of people. More kids titles on Stadia is a good thing, because I know my daughter loves booting up like 3 games on Stadia. There's 3 games that interest her. She likes playing Fogs, she likes playing SpongeBob, and she likes playing Terraria. Having more kid-friendly games, not that she's a little kid, but be a little bit more palatable for her to play those types of games than I don't know, Resident Evil 7 or 8. Not games that she's interested in jumping into.
Yeah, well, when watching this particular game footage, it got me thinking. I mean, I've thought about this a 1,000 times probably, but just when we were watching it just now, I was like, man, we do not have very many couch co-op games on Stadia. This is definitely something that needs to happen. We need more games where you are sitting down next to the person, either split screen or non-split screen, where it's a couch co-op game, not a fighting game, not a shooting game. You're just sitting next to a person and trying to achieve something together. What's your favorite couch co-op game that you have on Stadia? My family doesn't like couch co-op games unless it's like Mario Party, so we don't ever play those.
Probably the one that I played the most was it would either be Cake Bash or Fogs. One of the two of those I've played a fair bit in couch co-op. We definitely need more of those. I love old school couch co-op. I'd love to see the old Baldur's Gate games that just got re-released on other consoles. I'd love to see them get released again on Stadia, because that would be a fun two-player couch co-op thing that you could play anywhere. Stuff like that would be a heck of a lot of fun on Stadia.
People in chat are saying Get Packed is really fun as a family game. It is a really fun game, although sometimes it gets a little frustrating trying to complete the objectives. Sometimes I felt like that was getting a little too difficult. And then there's Trine 4. Trine 4 is also a game where you can do couch co-op, where you have these different characters. There's like the Fat Knight, the I don't know, kind of, this seems offensive, but like dirtbaggy kind of wizard guy. I don't remember much about him other than I just didn't like him. He just kind of seemed like a guy that I was not a fan of. And then
Sure.
the ranger, who was my favorite because she could like make grapple hooks and swing across. And I never played that as a multiplayer game. I only ever played Trine games as single player games. And I always forget about the multiplayer aspect to that. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Let's take a look at the show notes, because I got distracted by shiny things, of course. Oh yeah, Hitman 3. I love that game. I never play it though. It's so good. I just have too many other things to play. But if you haven't played it yet, from May 28th, which was 2 days ago, until June 6th, you can play the Paris level of Hitman 3 for free. I love that they keep doing this, where they just keep saying, hey, here's a little part of the game that everybody can just play. How much time do you think you've put into Hitman 3 so far, or just Hitman in general on Stadia?
Maybe a total of 10 hours total across all the different games on Stadia. Like you, it's a game that I know I want to play and I know I should play, and then there's shiny things and I get into playing those things instead. So yeah, I really love that they do these free play things, and it just shows the power of Stadia. You click a link, you're playing a game, and that's it. You don't have to download anything. Like downloading Hitman 3 just to play this first level on other platforms, that's a insignificant amount of data that you're downloading just to play essentially a demo, one level. Where in Stadia, you go on your Chromecast or you go on your web browser and you click a link. It's just so much easier just to jump right into and play. And I do think this is kind of the future for demos, where companies may even just leverage Stadia tech just to have their demos out there, one YouTube or Twitter click away from playing the game. So I love seeing this type of stuff, and this is a really good game. So get out there, play Paris, do the first mission, enjoy it, and hopefully that'll get you jumping in and playing some more of the Hitman series on Stadia.
Yeah. You know what this makes me think of? It makes me think of, what are some other games that have distinct sections which that could really show that game off, that they could use that same kind of thing on Stadia, where they're like, all right, here is this one quest in Borderlands 3, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Right. Here is this one mission on Moving Out. No, that's the other one. Get Packed. This is Get one Packed. Mission on Get Packed that you can play for free. What are some ideas that you think would be really good demos for Stadia? I know I put you on the spot, because it just occurred to me.
I'm thinking of games that I've played recently. I've been playing a lot of Biomutant. Obviously that's not on Stadia. I'd love to see it on Stadia. And there's certain like little sections of that game that would be really great to show you kind of like the exploration, the boss battle stuff. As far as sections of a game, Immortals Fenyx Rising had probably one of the best demos that I've seen in the past generation, where it was a demo that was designed just for the demo. So it's a section of the game that isn't really in the main game. And those types of demos I think are the best, where they're kind of tailored and written up to kind of show off everything that the game has to offer. There's probably a lot of those areas in like a Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for example, doing some of the battles in different parts of the world. Like the first time you go to you go to different worlds in that game would be a really great thing, a really great chunk to have in a demo, similar to what they did with Hitman or whatever.
Yeah, and they could utilize like the state share function as well. So like you could have this demo, which is a very small segment of the game, and then when you finished, you could then do that state share to share it to other people so that they could say, oh, all right, well, this is what Lloyd did. He got this score. Can I beat that on this demo? That would get a lot of people to try these demos. And I think it would get a lot of people to sign on to cloud gaming as well, because then they would try it and they would realize how flippin' awesome it is. It's really awesome. And not a lot of people know that.
William Millard in the chat room says Resident Evil 8 with a certain set of weapons through state share. Why state share isn't used in every game just makes me shake my head a little bit, because there could be so much fun that could come from that. Like if you take a screenshot of your you beat Resident Evil Village. Let's pretend that this is a thing. You take a screenshot of your end level screen. It puts together a state share of with a timer that appears on the screen whenever someone plays your state, and the only weapons that they have access to is the weapons that are in your inventory at the time that you go into that state share. So it basically is saying you have to beat the game, you have to beat my time, and these are the 4 weapons that you can use. Stuff like that would be great, and you could see a lot of people in the industry across all the different platforms begging for that type of functionality, but also a lot of people collecting these states and having competitions with friends, doing speed runs and different weird running through with only, say, a handgun or something, would be such a great way to add like the instant play functionality of Stadia, with kind of, I don't know, encapsulating your own fun, making your own fun in video games, and then sharing that with your friends. I would love to see more state share being used as well as these free demos that we've been talking about.
You know, and you know, to add on to that, this idea of replayability factor, it would add a lot of replayability factor to a game, which then the developers could tout or the publishers could tout and say, hey, look at this. You know, you can just keep playing this game forever. That's how good it is, thanks to this feature. Now, you saying I don't understand why it's not included. I don't know how hard it is, but like, what was the game that went back and added state share after the fact?
There's been a bunch of those. We had Monster Boy recently that added crowd play and state share.
Right. Yeah, they went back after the fact to add in those features. But then you get, you know, somebody like Capcom, they didn't build that feature in from the start. I don't know. It's definitely a cool feature, and there's not enough of the Stadia specific features that get enough attention. And you know, look, there's a good reason for that. It's the same reason why 90% of games are going to completely ignore all of the crazy stuff that you can do with the DualSense controller. It's same thing with ignoring the gyros on the Switch controller and the PlayStation controllers, because it's not a part of everything. So a lot of times publishers and developers, they work to the lowest common denominator, whatever they can do to put this game on all platforms and then be done with it so that they can make the next game. I totally understand that. I don't know if it's a non-insignificant amount of work to make State Share and Stream Connect and all of that other stuff available in your game, but I think that it's a really good selling point for a lot of games, because those are some very cool features.
That's right. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you fully. That'll come with platform maturity. You're going to get a lot more developers as the platform matures and they're more up on creating Stadia games, that stuff will happen. But yeah, it's a shame when a new game comes out and there's like a perfect feature, that Stadia specific feature that they could use, and they don't. And it's like, okay, yeah, you're cross-platform. You don't want to devote time on Stadia for something that isn't going to be used on other platforms. But hopefully we get to the point where that is something that happens less and less moving forward.
Yeah, but just to piggyback off that, is the same reason why not many companies are taking advantage of the things that are on other platforms as well, because
right.
They don't want to just make something for a part of their audience. InLead in chat says Assassin's Creed Museum mode would be nice as free content.
That would be great. Yeah, that would be great. And then schools could play that stuff for free in classroom. I don't know if you've seen the museum mode. It's essentially, it turns like, if you're playing Assassin's Creed Origins, it basically turns like the pyramids into a learning thing. It's like, it'll have a narrator, and it'll be like, yeah, this is the Great Pyramid of Giza. This pharaoh was buried here. It was discovered on this date, and it was completely excavated on this date, and just has all that stuff. Like you're walking around a museum, and it gives you information about how the game was developed, but also the world that you're in. So something like that. For free through a clicked link on a Chromebook in school would be fantastic. Of course, people would then want to start the regular game mode and play Assassin's Creed during class. So I could see there could be problems. But something like that as a free demo would be a great way for Ubisoft to put that out into the world and say, hey, if you want to learn more about ancient Egypt, here you go. Jump right in and walk around and check out the pyramids and all that other stuff.
Yeah, Chuck Smith in chat says, I would love PGA Tour with Stream Connect. That would be amazing. Like just sitting there, you're playing your golf game, and just up in the corner, because you can stop. You can stop when you're playing golf and just kind of look at something. And you, just up in the corner, you can say, oh, Lloyd's about to make his to do his putt, and just kind of watch it for a second.
Right.
And, oh, he missed. All right, let me try my shot while he's like, that would be incredibly cool. I would love that. Chuck Smith, you got a really good idea there. You should tweet it at Take Two Games. Although I don't know, is the menu still messed up in that game?
I haven't booted it in a couple months, so I'm not sure. But man, yeah. Anyway, we won't get into that. We've complained about the menu system in that game enough. But yeah, any like Stream Connect would be fantastic in any game that is multiplayer, where you're on a team with another person that's on Stadia. Just putting their screen on your screen is just adds to the game. So many games. Some games obviously wouldn't care about that, but any game where you're splitting up, just being able to see the other perspective is just so huge. And yeah, it's surprising that there isn't more games with that.
Yeah, when we were playing PGA Tour, I thought it was really cool when we were playing and we could see the other person's shot, like, because we were playing the same hole at the same time, and we would both shoot the ball, and we would see them both go. Like, I would see Lloyd's as a little ghost one, and he would see mine as a little ghost one. Anyway, I think I need to play that game again. I loved PGA Tour. That was so much fun. All right, let's move on and talk about this tweet from Randy Pitchford. I forgot to add it to the show notes. I'm sorry, but you alluded to it, which reminded me, so I was able to go and find it. Randy Pitchford, he tweeted this out. He said, "Good news or bad news first. Good news. An update for Borderlands 3 has been prepared for release that includes full crossplay support across all platforms. Bad news. For certification, we have been required by the publisher to remove crossplay support for PlayStation consoles." So, first off, I've complained about Sony for half of the last generation, doing this nonsense. And I've had no shortage of people telling me that it wasn't really Sony's fault that this is happening. And to those people, I say, you're wrong. Okay? Imagine Dr. Cox from Scrubs singing the "You're Wrong" song. All right? That's what's going on here. Because Sony is, like, we've seen that Sony has said in some leaked documents where they were like, okay, you want to do cross-platform, you have to pay us for that privilege. And it seems like a Gearbox, sorry, I had to think of what their name was. It seems like Gearbox has said, you know what? It's not worth it. We're not going to pay your ransom. We're just going to cut you out. And so now PlayStation players can only play with PlayStation players. I'm happy that they're doing it this way.
Yeah. Publicly shaming worked for Fortnite. There was no crossplay at all on PlayStation, and then Fortnite says, "Okay, we're doing crossplay with every place except for PlayStation. You have to talk to PlayStation if you want to get that sorted out." And then Sony basically said, "Okay, well, you have to pay us money for every person that doesn't play on our platform, that once played on our platform, or whatever the metrics are. You have to give us money. You have to give us a ransom." It's good to see Borderlands come out and say, "Yep, it's crossplay on all platforms except for Sony," and that there's going to be a lot more questions as to the why. And with the stuff that has come out between the Apple and Epic lawsuit that was going on, where we found out that you do in fact have to pay Sony, and for Randy Pitchford to say because our publisher forced us to pull this out, which means that the publisher doesn't want to pay that ransom. The developers did due diligence, the publishers did their fiduciary diligence, and now Sony just looks like they have egg on their face again, which is great. So hopefully this changes a world where we can cross-play every game on any platform at any time is just a better game for us, the gamers. Sony is very much not that company these days, wanting, even though they say they're for the gamers,
they're not.
and all about the game, they're not. They're all about the money and all about owning as much of the industry as they can. I hope with the PlayStation 5 that changes, but I mean, PS5 is selling more than Xbox, so if Sony is still the number one dog on the block, I don't see this changing anytime soon, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I made a video that included this earlier this week, and I think that I said something along the lines of, if I didn't, I should have. If Xbox had been like top dog last gen, then they would be the ones acting like this, and Sony would be the ones they're like, crossplay? Yeah, let's do crossplay with everybody. And I just wish, excuse me, I just wish that these companies would realize sooner rather than later that whenever you do something that is good for your customers, in the long run, that is good for your bottom line. In the short run, I'm guessing that this is better for Sony in the short term, but in the long term, it's going to turn around and bite them in the rear, because there's going to be a lot of people who just say, you know what, I'm done. I want to be able to play with my friends, and my friends aren't on the same platform as me, so I'm going to go and play on that platform. And I think what Sony's hoping is that people will say, well, I want to play on, like, an Xbox player is going to say, or a Stadia player, they're going to say, I want to play with my friends, but my friends are on PlayStation, so I'm going to go buy a PlayStation.
Yep.
But the thing is if you're a Stadia player or an Xbox player or a Nintendo Switch player, you can play with a lot more people than you can if you're a PlayStation player. And that's a big deal. So hopefully they learn from this, but I have very, very low expectations that that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you fully on that. It's sad, but hopefully that will change. But bravo for big companies putting out statements like that, saying it's crossplay everywhere except PlayStation. It only with public shaming will you force Sony to change their ways, and that is incredibly sad, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah. David Rodriguez says that's probably why we can't have crossplay on Avengers. That's why you can't have Spider-Man on other platforms as well. Let's see. Christopher Torres says having crossplay on all games should be a mandatory thing, but not how it works. One day, yeah, I mean, it would be amazing if all of the other platform holders did this, and they said, you want to put a game on our platform, you have to turn on crossplay.
Yeah,
and that would force Sony's hand, because or maybe it would. Maybe that would backfire and the games would only come to Sony. I don't know. But I don't know how it works. I don't have a good answer.
Weird. The industry's weird sometimes, for sure.
It is. All right. So first off, that's it for the news for today.
We got a couple quick things that I want to get in real quick. Our Stadia Pro titles for June. I know Bill put out a video, but just for people that haven't seen that, we are getting 4 games in June that we know of. There might be more as Google oftentimes does. So we get the Legend of Heroes Cold Steel 3, which is a JRPG. We have MotoGP 20, which is a game that a lot of people love. Chronos Before the Ashes, which is a RPG that Bill played and loved. And Blue Fire, which is a game that I had seen a video for a while back, and it made me really excited. It reminds me a lot of Zelda. There's platforming. It's a 3D platformer. This looks like a really fun game. What a great bounty of pro titles that'll be coming on June 1st.
Did I not add any of that to the show notes? Like I had those windows open this morning and I just forgot when I was putting the show notes together. Oh my goodness. And then we also have, so let's lump these 2 stories in together since they were posted one day after each other. And then this summer we also have Control coming to Stadia, and what was the other one?
Olympic Games.
Oh, Tokyo the Olympic Games, which looks like a fun thing. Well, I guess it's going to have Sonic in it. So what's that?
Yeah. Is this one going to have Sonic in it? I didn't watch the trailer for it.
Somebody tweeted that at me, and they said, looks like it's going to have Sonic. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Awesome. That would be great.
It's usually just Mario and Sonic, and that's in those Olympic Games. But I don't know. Maybe Sonic will be in this one as well.
Maybe.
Of those games from the Pro, which one are you most excited for?
Well, the one that I've wanted to play since I saw the first trailer is Blue Fire. So the fact that that's going to be a Pro title makes me very happy.
Absolutely. It looks like a Zelda-inspired platformer. And I really love the art style. The art style is beautiful. I'm also very interested in the JRPG Trials of Cold Steel 3. The 4th one is supposed to come to Stadia sometime soon, or is it already on Stadia? I can't remember.
I can't recall.
Yeah.
I can't recall.
But it's supposed to be really good. Game. What's that?
Sorry, I cut you off.
Is this our first podcast? We keep talking over each other. Go ahead.
Since you changed all your setup, I'm hearing myself echoed back a half second later. So it's awkward for me to talk over myself or talk over you. So my apologies. I've been bad with that today. But yeah, no, I'm just really excited, and the fact that Control is finally going to be on Stadia is a great thing. I've played the game. I love the game. It is a game that I think everybody should play. The big question now for Control is, will it have any sort of ray tracing in it? Because this game has beautiful ray tracing on like Xbox and PC. Are we going to get that on Stadia? Is this going to be the first one? Probably not, but it's a good thing to think about.
Does it have ray tracing on Luna?
Xbox. I don't know if it does on Luna. I can't play Luna because it's US only. So I'm not positive on that. But I know that if you play it on Xbox, it will have ray tracing.
What about on Switch?
Switch, I think you can turn. They just patch that, so there's like a 60 frames per second mode on Switch, and I think there is a way to play with ray tracing when you play the Switch version as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, it's clear. It was only a matter of time before this game came to Stadia, because it's streaming on all the other places where you can play games. Although I don't know if it's on GeForce Now. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm not positive on that.
But that's very interesting, because now it's a game that absolutely does support ray tracing. Can Stadia do that? That's a great question. So I don't know. But only time will tell. And look, everybody has told me a million times that I need to play Control. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I didn't want to play it on my Switch, especially because I don't want to get into it. I just wasn't interested in playing it on my Switch. I've got an Xbox sitting next to me, but I didn't really feel like picking it up there. So maybe on Stadia I'll jump in. It's got like 1 billion awards. Like, everybody says it's fantastic. I've seen some gameplay where you use telekinetic powers to pick stuff up and throw it at people. Cool.
Yep.
I'm very interested. This summer. We don't know when this summer, but this summer. And then the Olympic Games. I don't normally care about like that kind of thing, but somebody was either tweeted at me or maybe it was in our community Discord, link in the description down below, and they said something along the lines of it's like Mario Party.
It is. Yeah. It's a bunch of different events, and there's all sorts of crazy character customization. Like in the trailer, there's a guy wearing like an astronaut outfit as he's competing in these matches and things. So I think this is going to be just a stupid Mario Party kind of game, which is good. I'm excited for this one actually to see what it turns out to be.
Yeah, that description has me more sold on it than hey, it's the Olympics, because I don't care about the Olympics. I watch them. If I think the last time that I watched the Olympics, my wife and I were I don't remember. I think we had taken our daughter to Niagara Falls, and we were watching it in the hotel room at night just to have something to watch.
Right.
And then we discovered Dog River Dogs. That's when we found them, and we ended up watching that instead because it was better. All right. So we got some super chats that have come in. Anything else that we missed on?
I just double checked, and Control is on GeForce Now,
Okay.
both the Ultimate Edition and the regular edition. So yeah, that is another place you can play it as well.
All right. So for those of you that didn't know, Lloyd had a birthday earlier this week, and somebody, I can't see it because it's covered up. Maybe if I hit this button here. So they said,
Ruben.
Granite T-Rock says, happy belated birthday, Lloyd. A toonie for Timmy's. Oh, okay. $2 for Tim Hortons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Look at me. I'm almost cup. Canadian. Then Sukotronic sent in a super chat with no message, as they always do. Anthony Telkett sent in a super chat. They said, I'm hoping that YouTube and Stadia sync in terms of streaming notifications so I can watch you guys stream while I play a game on Stadia in a picture-in-picture.
That would be a
awesome.
Huge feature.
To be able to watch YouTube videos or live streams while you're playing a game, because all they have to do is put two things together, that would be awesome. However, I almost think that you would need to like make a playlist, because a lot of times when you're playing, you're just, here it is. You're just using a controller, and how would, most of these are used for the game. So how do you bring up, I guess maybe you could hit like the Stadia button and it would bring up like a list of your YouTube videos that are recommended, and you could just say yes this one, yes this one, this one, because a lot of YouTube videos are only like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, or you could use the guide button and just say play next video or whatever, and it would know that you have a list that you should go through. There has to be a way for them to bake that in and do it in a smart way. They're smart people over at Google, so that would be great. Anything like that, because while I have 3 screens and I can have a YouTube video and another YouTube video and a Twitch stream and all this other stuff running while I'm playing Stadia, it would be good for people that are playing just on a Chromecast on their TV to be able to put some of that stuff as a picture-in-picture. That would be huge.
So here, let me ask you and Chad a question. What would you prefer?
Mm-hmm.
Would you prefer this cool YouTube picture-in-picture thing, or would you prefer YouTube music to be able to be listened to while you're playing games?
Picture-in-picture. I detest listening to music while I play video games, for the most part. So people last generation, they're like, oh my god, it's so great, I listen to Spotify while I play games and I mute the in-game music and it's so good. No, I don't do that. Although when I'm playing here, I oftentimes have one of my playlists running in the background really quiet, but it's not coming through my headphones, so I don't really hear it too much when I'm playing games.
Gotcha. All right, well, thank you very much, Anthony Telkett, for the support and the cool idea. Jean-Francois Chef sent in a super chat. They said, just glad I could listen to you live this week. We're glad you could listen to us live this week. And thank you very much for the support, Jean-Francois. And then Consino sent in a $20 super chat. Happy birthday, Lloyd. Well, thank you very much, Consino. We appreciate it, man. Supporting the show at that level.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for the support. You folks are too kind, and we appreciate you.
We absolutely do. People are saying they want the picture-in-picture. Consino wants both things. Ahmed says YouTube music for sure. Fett says, I need the game sound, not music. Stupid Rabbit says, could use the phone to cast picture-in-picture.
Oh, that would be a great way to do it. Yeah.
So you're just
choose a video
playing
on
the
your
game,
phone.
you just grab your phone, go send that. Everybody's got a phone. Don't you guys have phones?
So smart. Stupid Rabbit, you're so smart.
Yeah,
that
there
would
you
be
go.
the best thing.
Ruben sent in a super chat. They said Bill and Lloyd should do more live streams fund because it's always awesome content. YouTube, please speed up clipping for some golden content. Well, yeah. Ruben, so what Ruben is referring to is, I guess something funny happened during Lloyd's birthday stream. I don't know what it was because I only kind of had it on in the background and I was busy. If you want to know what it was, you're going to have to go watch his birthday stream. That is up until YouTube gets the clip feature available to everybody, which is basically they're just stealing it from Twitch, which is awesome. They should steal more things from Twitch.
Yes.
Just not the DMCA stuff, the way that Twitch does it. But because I got one of those emails this weekend.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, but YouTube is going to bring in this feature where you can, if Lloyd's streaming a game, something cool happens, you can click on the clip button and it'll save it into like a little clips folder, basically, which is really, really cool. So Ruben, thank you very much for the support. Once that clip feature comes out, go back to that video and you can clip the moment that you're talking about, though I don't know what it is.
Or don't. That's a valid way forward as well, Ruben. You don't have to do it, but your choice. But yeah, I sang a song. I can't remember what the song was or why I did it, but yeah, something happened and I sang it and they're like, oh, I wish clipping was here, and I'm like, oh yeah, crap, I can't do stuff like that because it's gonna come and bite me in the rear end. Yeah. if that happens.
Yeah, and I would like to stream some more, just playing random video games. Sometimes I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to, and then I talk myself out of it because I'm like, well, I don't know if people want to watch me play this game, and this is the game I want to play. So then I'm just like, well, I'll just play the game and turn off the lights. Sometimes I don't do it just because these lights are bright. I don't think people want to watch it like this, where I'm sitting in the dark.
I have done that in the past and it's been okay, but yeah, I want to stream more as well. I have some plans for stuff that I want to do in the near future. So much of my life had been tied up with other things over the last few months, so it's nice to actually have some freedom opening up in the near future. So hopefully there'll be more streams, because I do love hanging out with you awesome folks while I play games.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for this episode of Stadiacast. Thank you very much for listening. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel and you're like, what are these streams that you're talking about, head on over to nerdnest.tv, click subscribe, click the bell, and we'll see you next time. Thank you everybody for the super chats, for hanging out with us. You guys are amazing. We really do appreciate it.
100%. Yeah, thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week for some more Stadia fun here on Stadiacast.
So did I fix the echo?
Yes.
Okay. I just had my speakers turned up too loud.
That's what it was. Yeah. So it's tough because I don't see your mouth move. So then I say something and then your mouth starts moving at the exact same time as me, because sometimes your video was desyncing every once in a while for like a split second or whatever.
My guess is
Discord being stupid is what it probably is.
I think it probably has more to do with the fact that I'm accepting your stream and then I'm also streaming and I'm sending a stream to you at the same time. Like, I think my computer is just like saying, ah!
Yeah, too much. Too much. Yeah,
too
definitely.
much. Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, that's it for this episode. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate it. Jamie Melendez loves the Winnipeg hat.
Yeah, Winnipeg Jets going around 2 on Wednesday. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm so excited for that. And I guess we find out who we play soon. It's either Toronto or Montreal into round 2, so I can't wait.
You sang
Oh, that's
some
right.
Spice
I
Girls.
think Spice Girls. That's what it was.
I'm guessing it was the "Tell Me What You Want" song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
think
you
that's
go.
what it was. Yeah, it's all coming back to me. The shame is starting to slowly ooze down the back of my neck. So that's a good thing when shame makes you feel that way. So yeah, that's definitely what it was.
Well, I think that we're all trying to eye bleach it out or ear bleach it out at the same time. So, thank you everybody for watching. Lloyd and I got some D&D to play, so we will see you guys. Bye, everybody.
Have a good one, everybody.